What's going on, Geeks? You're listening to episode 346 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
Yo!
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
This week, we're geeking out about Street Fighter 6, because it's open beta.
Yeah.
A Transformers movie we actually care about.
For once.
I'm excited. And the writer's strike. There are no puns in our little, intro thing. Usually we throw some wordplay in there.
It's kind of hard to joke about serious stuff, you know.
Yeah. Transformers is very important to me. Rodimus Prime.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Also, we probably need to apologize. We did not have an episode last week. We all just needed a day.
Yeah.
It was just... I was super sick. I can kind of hear it in my voice now that we're recording and I'm actually talking. I'm still a little under the weather. And we just needed to kind of take a break.
It was much needed.
Yeah. Work and stuff getting in the way. But we'll get into the video games that we've been playing. For me, Chained Echoes. Hopefully getting to play Tears of the Kingdom soon and get to talk about that. But Chained Echoes. I do actually want to hang on Chained Echoes for a minute. I've gotten to the part of the game. I guess it's kind of split up into halves.
Okay.
And so the first part is very RPG-esque, what you're used to. And then there are mech suits in the game, and so you unlock them kind of halfway through the game.
Ooh.
And it's a totally different combat system.
That's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. I've looked at critiques, and a lot of people don't like it for some reason. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be very repetitive, which totally makes sense. There seems to be a lot less elemental stuff, and it's kind of just you hit them, they hit you back.
Oh,
But the fact that the combat is completely changed on me has been really cool. You had this kind of gauge that you needed to be in. You needed to stay under what they call overheating. And now you have these gears because it's a mech suit. And so it's kind of, you need to keep yourself in the middle of this bar as it goes from one way to the other, depending on what gear you're in.
Whoa.
It's cool.
Okay.
It's fun.
Reminds me of,
I really like Chained Echoes. I think if you like RPGs, you should really check this game out.
It reminds me of 13 Sentinels, which I never played, but I know they also...
Oh, 13 Sentinels is so good.
But yeah.
I don't know. The game is... You feel super overpowered when you get the mech suit, because they give you, you'll face with your mech suit the things that you were facing without a mech suit before.
Oh, wow.
And so you were doing, 10, 20 damage, and now you're doing, 1,000 damage to these things. It's so satisfying. And I'm sure that's going to go away, but... and you can just call upon it whenever you want now. I don't know. I think the mech suits are cool. Game's fun. What have you been playing, LJ?
Yeah, I've been playing a few things. Probably some of the most controversial releases in the past week. I've been playing Jedi Survivor on my PS5, not the PC version, obviously. PC version apparently has lots of issues. Jedi Survivor is really good. If you liked the first one, you're really going to like this one. If you didn't care for the first one, then you probably won't care about this one. It's just as good. It feels so much they tightened up a lot of things. A lot of different customization, clothing options you can get. It's not just ponchos anymore.
But you can get ponchos, right? Because I know that the actor seemed very frustrated.
He was.
Yeah,
it was
really
more of a. I'm sure there is one. I have not found one.
I'm sure you have to find the cosmetics.
But it's really cool. I like the different saber styles.
I won't return if I don't get my poncho.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really good.
Cool. There's
not much else I can say. I guess a lot of the original characters return. There's some cool new characters as well. I'm curious at this point where the story is going to go. It's fun. I'm playing on Jedi Master mode since I beat it that way the first time, just to be okay, I can do it. I did it once, I can do it again. I am having a boss kick my teeth in pretty hard right now. That's a 2-phase boss fight, which is par for the course when you play, especially for a Souls style combat system and stuff like that. I don't have to play it on that difficulty, but I'm I want to.
Yeah, it's good.
So, yeah, it's super good. Yeah, so go check it out. The other one I've been playing is I played a bit of Redfall with some friends the other night, And oh my gosh, this game is all over the internet about, oh, it's such garbage. It has so many bugs and all this stuff. And, like, sure, it's got issues. Obviously, it's not one of Arcane's best games because they've done, like, Dishonored, Prey, and, like, Deathloop and stuff.
Oh, that's
but
right,
I'm having fun with it. It's a fun little looter shooter. It's on Game Pass. Like, I gotta say, like, I don't think I would pay full price. Like, if I did pay full price for this game, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that kind of sucks. But it's not, like, a terrible game. But, like, I mean, I played Gotham Knights and Saints Row last year, and I enjoyed both of those, and those got pretty railed on, too, by critics. And so, I think if you go in with expectations low and just try it on Game Pass, it's a mindless vampire shooty looter shooter. It's fine. It's okay. Like, it's not bad. It's not really not that bad. The internet just likes to blow things out of proportion.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I do want to give a shout out to, it's a digital tabletop game called Unmatched. Me and my buddy Spacehawk, we've been playing it because he's got every expansion of the real game, and so I'm going to visit him in the summertime, and I was like, I gotta check out this game before, like, I actually play him IRL. Nice. And so it's super fun. They have a digital edition you can get on Steam and Switch, and it's basically a board game. Like, basically, if you put historical characters and, like, fairy tale characters and mythical characters against each other, so you can do, like, Little Red Riding Hood versus Alice in Wonderland. You can do, like, Sinbad versus King Arthur, or Sherlock Holmes versus Dracula, kind of a thing. The actual board game has, like, Marvel, Jurassic Park, like, a bunch of other crazy, like, license tie-ins. And I'm like, dude, I want those, like, in the actual, like, digital version. It's super cool. Like, you have, like, one main character you're playing as that's, like, a full, like, model, like, a full, like, mini. Mm-hmm. And then your other characters, which are considered, like, sidekicks, they're, like, little, like, tokens that move across the board, too. And basically, the game is about, like, attacking and defending and moving around the board. Like, it's super cool. Yeah, it's so fun. I played a bit of it, the digital version already, by myself for a little bit, too. And I'm looking forward to playing the actual tabletop game, because, like, it's super fun on digital. Like, I can imagine playing as some of the other characters. Like, Alice in Wonderland. Alice, her gimmick is, she can, I guess every so often, you can change size with her, depending on what cards you play.
Oh.
And if she's small, yeah, so if she's small, she has a buff to her defense. And if she's large, she has a buff to, like, her attack. And then you have, I'm trying to think of the one of the other ones, like Sinbad. He's more of, like, his strategies. He's more of an agile character. You're supposed to move in and out with him. And then Red Riding Hood has, like, the huntsman who kind of, like, protects her and stuff like that. Like, and then Beowulf is in it too. He has, like, almost like a rage mechanic, which, you know, like, so it's kind of really neat. Like, all the characters are super unique in how you play them. So it's super fun. Like, I can't wait to play the actual version. So that's it.
Sweet. What about you, Shelley?
I haven't been playing anything, like, super new. I'm just waiting for Tears of the Kingdom to come out. It's been a while since I've, like, had this game, so much hype for a game coming out to the point where I don't really want to play other games. But what I have been playing, at least in the meantime, because I didn't really want to start, like, a brand new game or anything like that, is I got my Heart Gold randomizer working on my Steam Deck finally. It took a second.
Nice.
But I kind of figured out some of the quirks that it came with. And now it runs really well, and it's fun. The last time I tried to do a randomizer, I tried to do Nuzlocke as well. And I think I'm realizing, I just don't think Nuzlocke's very fun. I think Nuzlocke is just a little too stressful, and I think Randomizer is just the right amount of fun for me to replay a Pokemon game that I already have and have played before. Because it's really flexes different brain muscles, right? You don't just have the very simple, I have a Fire-type Pokemon that can do Fire-type, is weak to water, and is good against, like, grass types, right? Now you have random Pokemon in random places that you just get that each have random attacks, and so they're still going to be weak to. They still have the same types. They have random abilities, and so you can get, like, random abilities, and you have random attacks, and so then your strategy really changes. So, like, I have a Charizard and a Flareon both on my team, which, like, normally I would sort of try to avoid having 2 different fire types on my team, but their move pools are so different and unique that there's a place for both of them, right? So, like,
cool.
one of them, like, knows... My Flareon knows Dig, actually knows Flame Kick, which, again, like, is actually really strong in a randomizer because you get that extra damage because it's actually a fire-type Pokemon. So I'm like, cool, I actually have a fire-type Pokemon that knows a fire-type move. That makes it, like, extra strong. And then my Charizard actually knows grass-type moves, like Leaf Blade. And so I have to kind of, like, treat it as if it's, like, a grass-type Pokemon, but not. And so there's, like, just this extra level... sort of extra layer of thinking you have to kind of go through when you're fighting, which I think is really fun. And plus, there's I feel like there's always way less pressure going into gym battles because you have no idea what you're to expect. It could be like I did the bug gym recently. I don't remember the name of the gym leader, but everything's bug themed. No one has bug Pokemon, right? And so you're just kind of like, you don't have to like really train up one Pokemon. At least that's the strategy I would always use for gyms. It's like, okay, I gotta either train up the Pokemon that's really good against this gym or find a Pokemon that would be good against this gym if I don't already have some like type advantage. But now there's way less, like, I it's way more chaotic where I could just, and it's not Nuzlocke again, so it's like if a Pokemon faints, like, it's really not a big deal. I'm just playing because it's fun. And so I could just go right up to the gym and be like, you know, and just kind of figure it out and wing it. Again, there's just like different levels. There's I have a Sheldon that has the ability Dry Skin, and it knows like 1 or 2 different water type moves. So Sheldon being a dragon type Pokemon, I'm treating it as if it's a water type Pokemon because it knows these water type moves, and its ability Dry Skin allows it to absorb water type attacks.
Oh, cool. And
it actually absorbs it into HP. And again, it's just kind of fun, and it makes me still use... Again, one of the beauties of Nuzlocke is that it forces you to use Pokemon you don't normally use. Well, I'm already using Pokemon I don't normally use. Like, I don't normally use like all these different Pokemon that are in my party now. Like, I have like a Shuckle that got hatched from the egg, which I think it's usually supposed to be a Togepi. I think that's like the story-based thing is like you get an egg at the beginning of the game and then it hatches to a Togepi. But I got Shuckle instead. I have like a Teddiursa. My starter is Charizard. Because I forgot to change the settings, so starters are only, like, first gen or, like, the first, like, level Pokemon. Okay. So I was like, okay, no, I'm just gonna take the Charizard. And no Spatial Rend, by the way. I called it Trogdor, and, I'm like, you know, spatial rending the land.
That's awesome.
Anyway, it's just been really fun. Again, it's, like, a really fun way to just, like, replay Heart Gold, which is a game I've played already a couple times now, but just in a different way, different Pokemon, different sort of way of fighting, but not having to do Nuzlocke, because Nuzlocke, I think, it's great for those who really enjoy it to use as an extra challenge, but I think for me, just having a slightly different way to play is already enjoyable enough for me. I don't really need the extra challenge, because a lot of times when I do a Nuzlocke, my favorite Pokemon dies, and then I just don't want to play anymore. I'm like, okay, cool, what's the point? Bye.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I've been playing. I'm really excited for Tears of the Kingdom now.
Yeah,
cool.
Definitely. Cool. Well, we'll get into the gaming news then. LJ, you got a couple things there.
Yeah, so we're kind of in a bunch of releases right now, and I feel like we're on the verge of summer showcases coming up. The PlayStation is rumored to have one coming up. That's like just a rumor right now. But we got some stuff to look forward to until then. For now... The kind of the latest piece of news is that Street Fighter 6 is actually getting an open beta, which is exciting. That's kind of what people really wanted. There was a demo that came out a few weeks ago, which was cool. It let us mess with the like new single player mode, which is people are making like the weirdest looking characters. But this is an actual open beta. I think it's going to let you select between 8 of the characters. And it's going to happen between, I think it's May 19th and the 21st. So, I would say for anyone interested that wants, like, that's never gotten into a Street Fighter game, I would consider trying the demo first because it lets you play that single player mode. But then you also get 2 characters in, like, a regular versus mode. They all both kind of play similar. One of them's Ryu, and the other one is, I forgot his name. one of the new character that's been on the cover and everything of Street Fighter 6.
Oh, I don't remember his name either, but I know who you're talking about.
Yes. Oh, I can't remember his name right now. I want to say Cody, but that's another character from Final Fight. But yeah, so Luke is his name. Yeah, so he's yeah, I would say try the demo. There is like a new like control scheme for like beginners. But the open beta is cool because that's going to give people it's kind of like who are experienced to kind of get a chance to like get a feel for like the actual like characters and how the game plays before it comes out. But I'm super pumped. This is going to be a really good year for fighting games between this and Tekken 6. I mean, not Tekken 6, Tekken 8. I don't know why I went back one. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be exciting. Cool. And then the other news I think is kind of a bummer because I think it would be really good on Switch. But Marvel Midnight Suns has officially been canceled on Switch. And that's
crazy.
That's that game that was designed by the XCOM devs. It's the strategy game. I really like the game. It's long and I've been like on and off the game like since it came out. Like it's not a bad game by all means. But it's kind of a bummer because I know 2K does halfway decent ports. Like 2K ported BioShock, XCOM 2, Civ 6. Like there's all these really like obviously they're not like the best ports, but it's like like I feel like this could totally work on Switch, and they're canceling it. The last gen versions are still supposed to come out if you don't have a fancy new console. So, but yeah, so that's kind of a loss there a little bit because I probably would have considered buying this on Switch too. So, actually, since I own a Steam Deck, I could just get it on Steam Deck now. But
yeah,
for anyone that really wanted to play this though on there, that is a bummer. So. Yeah, that's it for gaming news.
Sweet. We'll get into the movies then. LJ, I feel like we should start with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yes.
Yeah, talk about it.
Probably the best Marvel movie we've had, and definitely in quite a while.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know, a lot of people are like, well, you get like Black Panther, don't forget about Black Panther 2. And it's like, yeah, but like, that movie is just such a weird spot because like part of the reason it was so good
is because
like a literal human passed away.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question. So, because without spoilers, I know everyone's like, "Oh, this was so sad, I cried." Like, and sort of this, not even having seen the movie. I cannot speak today. So sorry. But having not even seen the movie yet, like it makes it sound like this is like the Guardians of the Galaxy, like sort of last hurrahs, like their last things. Something's gonna happen, someone's gonna die, something sad happens, right? Like whether they just break up, who knows, right? You guys know, I don't know. But here's the thing: it's like so a lot of people use Black Panther as it's so emotional and sad, that means it's good. What about this movie in comparison? Is it also that, or is there other aspects that make it really good, or do you think it just like treated that emotional aspect better?
I think it definitely is good because of the way that it pulls at your emotions.
It's on its own merit. It's kind of like how we were just saying, like for Black Panther, an actual human being, not had to, because I feel like had to is the wrong word.
Yeah.
But like an actual human being passed away that had that specific effect on that movie.
Right. Like would Black Panther have pulled your heartstrings the way it did without...
If he didn't.
Like if Chadwick Boseman...
Yeah.
hadn't died, but they just like killed his character off.
Yeah.
I don't think it would really have hit as hard. Whereas this movie is like completely
written.
Not saying that anyone. I'm not giving anything story wise.
Yeah.
So don't compare it to like as I said died.
Yeah.
But the emotional aspect of this movie is done through fictional characters.
It's on its own merit. Like like
nobody literally died in this. Or like died for this movie.
Yeah.
And so the emotional stuff, it's all like, it's organically written. It's like actually, someone sat down and made these characters emotional.
It's well written.
It does so well. IGN did this content warning, I feel like is what it was, and I think that it's warranted. If you are uneasy with animal cruelty. It's going to be a rough watch.
Yeah. It's pretty bleak. Like, it's...
Yeah, I love animals.
Bleak is I think good word.
Thought you were gonna say I love animal cruelty, so I was fine.
I love animals.
I was like, wait.
No,
but then you stopped.
No,
and I was like, okay.
I mean, so that was really rough for me to watch. Fun fact about me that a lot of people wouldn't know: one of the first things I wanted to be like a zoologist when I was a kid. You know, everyone like their kid's dream job to like be a space like cadet or a firefighter or whatever. Like I wanted to like own a zoo for a long time.
Working in customer service, some people actually grow up to be real space cadets. I'm just kidding.
I wanted to like own a zoo or be a zoologist, and then I wanted to be a vet for a really long time. And I just have this love for animals, and so that stuff was extremely hard to watch, and it's dark. Like it's not the all jokes movies that we're used to coming out of Marvel lately.
Those are there, but it's like for it to be that serious of a movie and it be a Guardians movie, I feel like is quite a task.
It's very James Gunn.
It was pulled off so well. And I guess like that's why I enjoyed like Peacemaker so much, is because as silly and as like raunchy as that stuff was, like that show like had some really deep like meaning and emotion to it.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. Like, and I feel like this is like he just pulled it off so well, because we all know the Guardians for like clowning and just for being fun, goofy movies, and this did both. Like this, yeah.
Which he's done. I mean, the second one was like it was funny and had serious moments too. I don't think it was as dark as this is, but
it's been a while since I've seen the second one too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's more well written than movies have been in a while. It is more personal.
Yes.
Than a lot of the newer movies have been. I feel like the new movies, like, you don't really care about the characters nearly as much as you cared about these guys.
This did so well in balancing characters and just kind of like everything the characters have been through in like the past movies. It just all culminates into this movie, and I think that's what it does. To me, that's what it does so well. And it's like, yeah, they definitely play with like the results in the marketing, but I feel like they wrapped it up so well, and like it was really well balanced, I think.
Yeah,
and it was long. It was maybe a little too long because it's like 2.5 hours, but I feel like every moment was also kind of warranted too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like it's like it didn't feel like they rushed it.
I never felt like I was sitting like I need this to end soon.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it didn't feel that long to me.
There was just a couple sequences that were like a little long, but I'm like, okay, like it makes sense.
But no, I really, really liked this movie. I'm kind of sad to see James Gunn go, but it does give me a lot of hope for his DC. I watched this, and it kind of, because when I thought of like his DC, I thought very much of like Guardians 1, which is very humorous, and then I just can't imagine like Superman and stuff like that being this like that wonky and weird. And so I think this was it was just really reassuring that like James Gunn kind of do it all. He's obviously not going to direct every movie that comes out of DC, but he's a very capable director.
And is it bad for me to say like you don't have to worry about this like connecting with anything major either?
No, I mean
that makes sense.
I think that I don't know.
It was kind of a story that stood on its own, and it's not like exciting because it's leading to something. It's just good on its own.
Well, because like Quantum Mania, I feel like because Quantum Mania had Kang in it, and like it probably built up expectations for a lot of people. And it obviously, for a lot of people, it didn't deliver. But there's just you don't have that. They don't have to carry that weight in this movie. They can just let it be a Guardians movie and a James Gunn movie.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's good. Definitely go watch it. Bring tissues.
Yeah.
Did you cry at all, LJ?
Ooh, yeah. I got pretty. Yeah, there was a couple times there, especially towards the end. I was like, yeah, there were parts where I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is messed up. But then towards the end, I was like, okay, yeah, y'all are getting me.
Yep.
There's one particular part I think I might have. Like, I was just like, oh, they did it.
I cried twice. I probably would have cried 3 times if I had any more tears left. I think I was over crying at that point. It's well done. It's a lot darker than you're used to for Guardians of the Galaxy, so kind of be ready for that.
Yes, I would say don't bring any kids that are like under like 13. There's a reason this movie is rated PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not because like ultra violence or bunch of swear words, even though there are swear words.
First F-bomb in the MCU.
Yes, but it's like,
and it is wasted on the stupidest thing.
I don't even remember I don't even remember if I even heard it because I was trying to listen for it and I never caught it. But yeah, it's not like, I feel like it's PG-13 with a reason. Well, because we talk about movies that are just, we're gonna make it this rating so they can go over the top.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Even though they did throw some stuff in there just to be cheeky, obviously.
100%.
Yep. I think at that point they did and wrote everything else, and then they're like, okay, we got this one thing left. Can we do it?
Yeah.
Cool. LJ, did you watch anything else this week?
That's kind of it from, I don't think I watched anything else that important.
What about you, Shelley?
So, I didn't watch anything new. We did watch Revenge of the Sith for Star Wars Day. Just as you gotta watch some of the Star Wars, and I just really like Revenge of the Sith. And every time I watch it, I think, no, Hayden Christensen is a good actor, and everyone was being stupid when this movie first came out. He is acting really confused and conflicted the entire movie, as he should, as his character as Anakin is feeling incredibly conflicted the entire movie. Definitely my favorite of the prequels. I think it's everyone's favorite of the prequels still. Like, that's an ice cold take of being a favorite of the prequels. But I still just, it's still just a fun one to watch. And depressing, right? Kind of in its own way too, and Mimi, very Mimi, just referencing everything the entire time is always. And
then Order 66 has been so expanded upon too since then.
Exactly.
So it's kind of it would be a trip to like watch that one again.
In fact, I even thought about it, and I was just like, man, they really didn't do a good job with Order 66, like in the sense of how many people we know survived Order 66, and just seeing like just in that movie itself. They shoot Obi-Wan.
The Inquisitors and stuff too. It's
they had
a lot of mess.
Exactly. Yeah, they had to clean up so much, but it's like Obi-Wan, they shot him off the wall. He falls all the way down into water, and they even check, but they're just like, no one could survive that fall. And I'm like, are you serious? A Jedi could very easily survive that fall. We know that, and you have the knowledge that Jedi can slow their falls, they can control their jumps and their movement in the air. Like, they can't just fly, but they have the Force. Okay, that's a real thing. So I thought that was kind of funny. Where I was just like, man, they really didn't do a good job with Order 66.
For working with the Jedi as much as they did, they're quite dumb.
Yeah, exactly. The whole idea is they killed off 99% of all Jedi, which could still be true, I guess, but we already know of a lot of canonical people who have survived that in all these different shows and movies, and I feel like they're always introducing more, but it's also of course, because they just did a bad job cleaning up, they did a bad job during the moments, and then they are just trying to clean up. Anyway, Revenge of the Sith. The other movie we watched was Three Amigos. We just wanted a funny movie to watch. I don't remember if we talked about this the other week. I feel like I didn't. But we just wanted to watch kind of a fun movie, and it is just a fun movie. It's been a long time since I've seen Three Amigos, so technically I've already seen it, but it's been so long that I kind of felt like watching it for the first time again. And it's just so fun, and it's so funny because we were realizing when we were watching, it's just the same plot as Galaxy Quest, except a Western setting instead of space settings and sci-fi. But it is the same thing where you got these actors who kind of find themselves in a situation where there's people who think that they're the real deal, and they're not just acting, that they're actually doing real good things, and they have to basically come to this conclusion on if they're going to say hey, we're actors, this isn't our thing, or are they going to step up and actually save the day. But man, those characters, all of them were so entertaining and so funny. I think that movie still holds up really well. the main three are just hilarious. I don't know. It's still just a really good, fun movie. Quite simple.
Since I was little, I think.
It's also like kind of trippy. There's some weird sequences where you're just like, wait, what is going on here? But I think that adds to the humor, of course. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of fun. I don't really have much to say about it, but I just thought it was fun to watch.
It's cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. I also watched Uncharted on Netflix.
Oh yeah,
it was on Netflix, and with Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg. The cast is such a weird decision.
Yeah.
Like I heard, I don't know if it was ever solidified or not, if it was true, but I had heard that Tom Holland was trying to make a young 007, and that pitch kind of became Uncharted.
Oh yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Watching this movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like an original pitch, and then it kind of turning into this. Like that just kind of justifies the weird cast to me a little bit better. But no, it's good. It stands on its own. If you're an Uncharted fan, it's probably not like necessarily for you, which is kind of weird to say. Like it's for the average viewer and not for the gamer that knows everything about Uncharted.
Yeah. As a fan, I kind of, the more I watched the movie, I could start to see, maybe it was some of the dialogue and like some of the stuff they were saying mostly, but I could see Tom Holland and the other actors like as younger versions of Nate and Chloe, like especially with like kind of what they're doing with the story. Mm-hmm. Because they're like mixing games around with the way they're setting this up. The one character I did not like was Sully, because Mark Wahlberg, I feel like he got put into a role that was written for somebody else, because he has these lines about like, oh, I'm old, or I need glasses, or my back, and it's like, bro, like I know Mark Wahlberg's not like
you're not that old.
He's not that old. Like he's not young, but he's not old. But it's just, I'm like, no, this doesn't work for him.
Yeah. I don't know. It was, like I said, if you were a fan of the he's 51 years old, by the way. I looked it up just now.
Yeah, so yeah.
He's getting there.
He's getting there, but he's not there yet.
He doesn't look 51.
He definitely doesn't.
Movie. He does, yeah. Like they probably could have aged him up a little bit.
Mark Wahlberg has aged very well.
Yeah. The movie's just, it was just a thing. Like, I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters. It feels like something that was like, maybe because I watched it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I totally could have seen it being a Netflix original movie, and that would have totally made sense to me. We're like, yep, that tracks. Like, that's just kind of the grade, which isn't, I mean, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know, with all the other movies in theaters, I would definitely, now is the time to watch that movie.
I went to see it in theaters out of morbid curiosity. Like, is why I did.
Yeah. Now is the time to watch it. It wasn't in theaters. I hope there's a sequel.
Yeah, I think a sequel could be cool.
Yeah. I think Tom Holland did really well as a young Nathan Drake.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nathan Fillion does a better Nathan Drake, but that little fan thing that he did. I don't remember what it was, like a YouTube thing. It was perfect. It was great. But it's fun. It's a good time. We'll get into the movie news then. Go ahead, Shelley.
Sure. So, a couple things here. I think let's talk first about what we mentioned at the top of the show, Transformers. So we talked a lot about Transformers on the podcast, especially with the upcoming movie. But this movie is a different movie, and it's called Transformers 1, and it's going to be an animated Transformers movie, which there hasn't been one since the 80s. Which is crazy for me to think about, because I feel like, I mean, I guess when I think of Transformers, I tend to think of like live action CGI, but there were animated shows.
There's been so many iterations of shows.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, that's crazy to me that there hasn't been an animated Transformers full feature length movie since the 80s.
In almost 40 years.
Yeah, like just a couple years shy of 40 years. That's insane to me. Also, don't think about like how 40 years so was just like the 80s. Like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. But They're also already casting folks, so they already have like Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett Johansson. It's going to be an MCU movie, guys. They're just bringing the Avengers.
That was what made it like news to me. I was like, oh, we've got like an all-star cast for this Transformers movie.
Where are the same people that were complaining about Mario? Like, where are they at? Are they not going to rail on this movie for the voice cast?
No, because the cast is great. It's not. It's not Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it's not Chris
like,
Pratt. It's a different
why
Chris.
Why isn't it the original Optimus Prime voice actor?
To be
Do we know
fair,
that he's not making an.
I feel like Mario is far more beloved than Transformers, but true. And also, I haven't seen any trailers for this. This sounds very new, so who knows? Maybe when like big trailers come out, then people will complain. I'm not sure.
Like, I'm sure it'll be fine. Like, I don't think it's
Do
that
we
big
have
of a
Optimus
deal.
as Chris Hemsworth being Optimus? Is that
Probably.
I think he is. I think he's young Optimus Prime. It says on the article, one second. Excuse me, 1 second. Chris Hemsworth as young Optimus Prime. Yep.
weird? Okay.
We also have Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee, so it is part of the Mario universe, actually. Toad is Bumblebee.
See?
And we have yet to know even if it's going to be like 2D or 3D animation. We just know it's animated. But I think that already is just super exciting because Transformers movies, I don't think have been doing super well. I mean, who knows? Maybe this new one coming out is going to do surprisingly well. I have no clue. It just seems like people see
It's weird that it's coming out in the summer.
To be fair, I think the original voice actors are retired at this point. Like, I know Peter Cullen.
For sure.
A while back,
Yeah,
I think he said he was done anyway. You know, so it's just like, but that's me being like, where y'all at on this one, huh?
Lawrence Fishburne's in this movie. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
We need Weird Al to come back.
We need Weird Al to come back. That's so funny. Why was
so cool.
Oh my gosh, my favorite part in like Bumblebee, because I'm thinking of like the old movie, is when they start playing "You Got the Touch." I was like, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
They need to play that song again.
Rodimus Prime.
And I watched that original movie not too long ago, and it was still like, I was like, dang, this is hardcore.
I watched so I hadn't watched it before until I was probably like 22 or 23, and I was told I had to because I didn't believe the guy. And he was like, "Yeah, Weird Al did the soundtrack for it," and I was like, "No, he didn't."
There's like absolutely no way. Yeah,
he probably helped. I think he helped organize it. Yeah.
I was like, "That can't be true." And then Weird Al, sure enough, singing songs. And
it's so 80s. It's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think that's exciting because again, animation is coming into a new wave. It's people are really pulling up
it's
for
really
animation.
Transforming.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's,
There's our way.
Yeah, you got one in there.
It's gonna happen, but I mean, seriously though, it's like we're getting all of these really awesome animations coming out, and people
across
are
the Spider-Verse
flocking.
is like
people
way
are
sooner
saying,
than I thought.
People are like, "Hey, this is really really good." So anyway,
Disney.
can we get Spider-Verse inspired Transformers movie? Like I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Like,
come on, Disney.
Anyway, since that, so another movie to talk about is Mortal Kombat 2. It's very, very likely that we're going to see Karl Urban as Johnny Cage. It's not 100% confirmed, but it's almost confirmed.
That sounds he's so weird.
Very much probably going to be.
I don't hate it though. I like Karl Urban.
I remember I think a young Karl Urban would be better, like a younger.
Yeah.
Gosh, it is weird, especially when you think of him as Billy the Butcher now. You know, like he's I mean, to be fair too, in Dredd, I mean, I think of Dredd, he was fairly like stoic in Dredd. I mean, I think of when I think of Karl Urban, I think of younger Karl Urban. I think of like him when he was in Doom, and I would like maybe back in the day I could have seen it a lot more.
But now you're kind of like,
I'm like, I think he could play like an older Johnny Cage or something.
Maybe.
I mean, it could work. The way they have this set up for the sequel too is they have the original character. I think his name is like Cole or something, but he has like the weird golden armor power. And I think they even teased it in the original where I think he's supposed to go and recruit other warriors from like Earthrealm, and they tease Johnny Cage as one of them. Spoilers for a movie that's not that great in the first place. But
oh no.
Yeah, I think that if they do a sequel better, I think the sequel could be cool. But the first one was so It was very meh. Like, I liked parts of the first one,
Yeah.
but it was just so weird. Yeah.
I want a Justice League versus Mortal Kombat movie.
Dude.
I would not be surprised. That could be a thing. Like, it really could.
Movie. I mean, you could just make a game at that point.
They did. That's
They
why.
have.
Well, then, okay, fine.
I want. That's why. That's why I think it could work. Is because they already have a video game.
It would be so good.
Oh, yeah. Dang, I want that now. I never thought of that. I want a sequel to the game. Actually, I need in the Injustice / Mortal Kombat in like the new engine.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Dang, I want that movie now.
Yep.
Yep.
Get on it, James. Well, he's got to make a universe, and then he can.
Yes.
Yeah. I would be down. This is tangent. I thought this way back when like Wolverine was still owned by Fox and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and Hulk was still cool. It like I would pay money for like a little like web, like a 15-minute, just short of just like back then it would have been like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine versus the Hulk, and it would have been a YouTube short, so it wouldn't have been movie rights, and they could have just made it.
Hugh Jackman's Wolverine versus Edward Norton Hulk would be awesome.
It would be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Before Marvel had their own studio, I think they could have happened.
Like, I didn't even need a lot of story to it. It could have just been, like, you know...
I mean, that's literally the first comic is what the very first, like, appearance of Wolverine is about. Just a fight. I got it on my wall right here. Like, it just...
That's awesome. Yeah, that would just be super cool to me.
Yeah.
And so, in that vein, like, if Warner Bros. Decided, hey, we're going to do a 15-minute Mortal Kombat versus Justice League, and there's not a lot of story that goes on to it, doesn't have to be canon. I don't care. Just make something cool like YouTubers do with their fan-made stuff.
Who are you? Who are you? Let's fight.
Yeah, and then I'll pay a little bit of money to watch that. Probably more. You'll probably overcharge me.
Put it on HBO Max. Or Max, I'm sorry.
Max.
Yeah. I would watch that. It would be cool. Plus, if it's 15 minutes, it's really short. You know, everyone will watch it.
Yep.
Yeah. Genius idea.
Yeah.
Short form content by big budget studios.
Ooh, that's a buzzword. Short form content.
Short form content.
Yeah.
That sells itself.
That's true.
They're like, but we have trailers. We don't need to. It's weird too because short form content is usually like 3 minutes.
Now. I know.
We're not talking about like a 15-minute video.
I know
YouTube,
what you
but,
mean.
like,
Yeah.
Short form.
Let the studios
Don't give me a 3-minute TikTok Justice League versus Mortal Kombat. That's not.
We
what
don't
I
need
want.
no. Oh, what was it? What was the that other app that died?
Oh, Quibi was out. No.
Yes,
Quibi.
yes.
Was it Quibi? Oh my gosh, that was a deep cut. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
We don't
nobody knows what
need-
Quibi is.
Oh,
We barely know what Quibi is.
I
feel
saw
like,
somebody mention that Princess Bride thing the other day. They're like, "Hey, I found this on YouTube," and then I wanted to be like, "Yeah, but that's not where it was first."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Man. Okay. We're
Anyway,
gonna move on. We
that's
gotta
a
get back on,
tangent.
Yeah, that's
back on
fine.
the rails.
Yeah, that's fine. So,
Oh.
Out of the multiverse.
the last movie news to talk about, we actually got a trailer for Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's really hard for me to say that title for some reason. It's like just really
Ballad
like that
of
double
Songbirds and
S's. Like, I don't know what it is. But so if you never read the book, which to be fair, I read all of the Hunger Games original series, but I actually never read this book. It came out later. It's actually a prequel, kind of. It takes place some 50 years before Hunger Games 1, I believe. Maybe not. It may not be 50. It's like way before, though. It's like a pretty significant time before, where it's about President Snow when he's younger. And if you have either read or seen Hunger Games, you know that President Snow is actually the antagonist. He's kind of like the main big bad guy. He's the president. No one likes him. He's an awful guy kind of thing, right? But this book is about him. And I don't remember, again, I never actually read the book, but from what I can gather, it's sort of a story where he, you know, while he's younger, he's having to either work with or mentor a girl from District 12 who is getting put in the Hunger Games. Now, Hunger Games is still pretty new at this point. It's like one of the first ones, or maybe it's the third or fourth or fifth one, or 10th one or something. It's fairly fresh in people's minds, whereas by Hunger Games, the Hunger Games have been going on forever, kind of. So, or at least very long time. So, it's sort of a story about him and this girl, and you already kind of like know, like he's a bad guy, right? So like, why is he protagonist? What happens? So that's kind of what this is about. I am very surprised they're actually making a movie of this. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because everything Hollywood does nowadays is just like take stuff that we've already liked and make more of it.
The trailer looks kind of good.
It does.
That actually looks interesting.
And I think I actually think what's good about this is that I don't think anybody really has any expectations because from what I heard, the book was just fine. Like I heard it was just okay. Like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing either. It was just, a book and, kind of interesting. Builds upon the Hunger Games lore, history and characters and all that. But it's nothing super duper significant. So if anything, I think what they could do is actually, take advantage of that and make a really good movie, maybe make some creative differences from the book and really focus on making a good movie. And I think they could be successful with that. Because again, I just don't think people are going to have very super duper high expectations of this. Even those who have read the book, I think a lot of those people have forgotten about that book at that point. Even people who read it are like, oh, that was years ago, right? I could be wrong if you're listening and you've read the book and you were totally looking forward to this movie, then it wasn't announced, and now you're like looking forward to the movie again. Like, let me know. From what I can gather, a lot of people are kind of like, oh yeah, that's a book that existed. Cool. Now they're making a movie. So I just think that they could do some cool stuff with this. And the trailer does actually look good. And again, I wasn't interested in reading the book, but I might be interested in watching the movie because it's just going to be a lot easier. It's a lot faster to consume, right, than reading a book. It's just faster. It's easier in some ways. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so unattached to Hunger Games.
That's fair.
They pumped out those movies really fast. It felt like too.
Yeah, they did.
So I don't know. It feels like it's been a while, which I also which I also kind of like that too. Like they haven't been trying to they got the movies done, and they haven't really been trying to shove this franchise down our throats for
a while. Yeah.
That other other franchises are probably guilty of. So I'm like, okay, like you might get some people that are nostalgic for the movies.
Yeah.
Back in on this, and they'll be like, oh, hey, remember this? Oh yeah, cool. Let's go see it. I think that's the audience they'll get from this movie, and which is totally fine.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I'm the target audience, right? I mean, I read the books growing up, and I watched the movies, and I really liked them, except for the last one. But that's everybody. No one likes the ending, right? Book and movie.
I've only seen the first two movies.
The second one is still, I think, one of. I'm not going to say the, but I'm going to say it's one of the best book to film adaptations.
Okay.
It's super accurate to the book, and it's still really good. Like, it's surprisingly very good. It's the best book of the series, and I think it's the best movie of the series as well.
Okay.
So, they know how to do it. And again,
That's
I
cool.
think the latter Hunger Games were bad, not because they were inaccurate to the book, but because they were accurate to the book, and the book is bad. The last book, not very good. At least the ending, not very good. I did not like it. And nor do many people like it. So, again, I think that's good news for this. And so there's so many copycat sort of spin-offs and ideas made off of Hunger Games. People, Divergent, right? It was one.
Well, this was that era of like young adult novel kind of
exactly.
thing. And then all the movie adaptations that came out of that.
Yes.
Like Divergent, Maze Runner, and all the other stuff.
Exactly. It really kicked it off. It kicked it off. So I think
it was really kind of
you could say Twilight did that, but I don't even think it was Twilight that did that.
No,
it was definitely Hunger Games.
I think as far as the like teen sort of dystopian, like something's happening.
Yeah.
There's different things you have to do, challenges these teenagers have to overcome.
It's a very specific genre, yeah.
It is, and it's really, honestly, super died off, because there was that era, and I was target audience. I was a teen when that was happening. Like, I was target audience, and I loved it. I ate it up. But that genre died off pretty quickly after some years, after Hunger Games finished off and Divergent never finished at all. And I think Maze Runner did technically finish, but it's like there's all these movies and even some shows, I think, coming out that were all sort of feeding off this one craze. So again, I think if anything, now that we're not in that craze anymore, I think this is actually
even
kind
made
of
a
like
movie about The Giver, which was weird.
That's true. They did. I remember seeing that. But it's like, I don't know. I think, like, if anything, it's kind of like a nice little, like, oh, cool. We're actually, like, they have to at least care a little bit about this to have, like, released it, right? It can't just be pure nostalgia, because a lot of people aren't really that nostalgic for Hunger Games. Like, it's not really, like, I am a little bit, I guess, but, like, it wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess, if anything, I'm a little optimistic, a little cautiously optimistic about this, because, again, they're, like, taking this, you know, book that came from this total craze of, like, these sort of teen dystopian, young adult, you know, it's dark, but there's romance, and they're just now making a movie of it years later after that craze. I actually think that's kind of a good sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of good. So,
cool.
That's it, though. That's our movies.
All right, we will get into TV then. I don't think I've actually watched a whole lot of TV. We've watched Titans. I thought that the new season, or the second half of season 4, is that what it is? Was it all the way out? And I actually have one more episode that comes out tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
For those listening to this when it releases. They come out on Thursdays. So I'm caught up again to Titans, but I have one more episode. And I don't know. That show is just so back and forth with me. Like, I love this show. I hate this show.
Dang, yeah.
They do stuff that makes no sense. A big budget web series is the best way to put it. I called it that back when they did the Red Hood thing, and I said that in a very like complimentary tone. And right now, I'm like, it feels like an over budgeted web series, and not necessarily in a great way. Like just the plot stuff that they're doing is just wonky and very comic booky, and I think that it stays really true to the comic book feel. Just these outlandish plots.
Okay.
But it's so cheesy sometimes, and just, I don't know. I think it's worth a watch, especially that third season. I think the third season was absolutely amazing. This season has been, it's been all right. I don't know. The biggest thing, something that everyone's been talking about is there's a multiverse episode.
Oh,
shoot.
And I will say, multiverse episode is very bad.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It feels so cheaply done. And it kind of reminds you that everything's kind of like this, like everything is going to be post James Gunn. And so it almost feels kind of like a moratorium for, like pre James Gunn stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very much is like, remember all of these things? They're not going to matter in a couple years.
That's messed up.
Cool.
What the heck?
It's rough. I think Flash is going to probably do that a little bit too. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it's literally just like windows while he's in this weird, they call it the Red. Spoilers. I'm sure the Red is a comic book thing. In fact, it is for sure a comic book thing. But there's just like little windows into the universes that they're just clips from other shows that, you know, in movies that no longer matter.
That's weird.
It's so bad.
No.
Absolutely terrible.
Oh, no.
End of an era. So we'll see. I'm assuming that this will be the last Titans season.
I wonder if they made it knowing it was going to be.
It could be. If this isn't the last season, they'll have one more season after this and probably be done. But it feels very much like they're winding down and being done. I will. Yeah. The guy that plays Superboy, he had to play this like good old Superman kid. And he didn't really get to like show his acting chops until very recently. I won't go into why, but like, man, that kid would have been a perfect young Superman for James Gunn's Superman movie.
Dang.
He's a really good actor, and he's just now in this season gotten to really show his acting abilities. Either that or his acting abilities have just gotten much better.
Sure. Yeah, season. That's possible too.
He's so good. I'm really kind of bummed for a lot of these actors that it's going to be really hard to get them cast into, you know, the other new DC movies, and they're so good in their roles. Brandon Thwaites, he plays Nightwing, and he does absolutely amazing. And they're probably not going to use him, in the future DC stuff. I mean, he does such a good job. You almost kind of feel bad that they're losing this talent.
I think it's amazing that the show has even gone this long. Like, I thought when DC Universe went, like, I thought this show would have went too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, it doesn't feel like anything else on television. It feels like an over-budgeted web series. For better or for worse.
Yeah, oof. Okay.
Kudos to them for lasting this long.
Yeah. That's all that I've been watching, though. Shelley, you been watching anything?
Yeah, so I'll start with the shorter one first. We watched the first, 4 or 5 episodes of Star Wars Visions 2. Oh, so beautiful.
I think I'm on episode 7 or 8, I think.
I love animation so much, and just the diversity in the animation styles makes me so happy, too. And, there's some episodes that are just so, abstract. You're like, I'm sorry, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then some where it's very concrete. There's some where it's very, very serious. And then you have the one with the Wallace and Gromit animation studio.
Yes.
It's just so silly. And you're just like, this is just Wallace and Gromit. This really just carries that energy. It's not just the animation style, it's the humor too.
I'm having a hard time choosing a favorite episode. Or there's a bunch that are just so good.
Yeah, then there's one with the animation studio that did Legend of Korra, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
So,
Ooh.
and I'm not even done yet, obviously, but it just is a show that makes me really happy. And it's also crazy, especially having watched Revenge of the Sith a day or two beforehand. The diversity in the actual planets, landscapes, and environments that you get to see in these animations versus the live actions, it kind of makes me, and obviously live action kind of has a place. They could do really cool stuff with live action, including physical effects really well, puppetry, that shines in live action. The actual outfits and costume design shines in, and makeup design. There's a lot of things that work obviously incredibly well in live action. However, I was kind of making me think about how most planets we see in live action are so boring. It's just desert, or just snow and ice, or just trees. We got trees
just
this
trees.
time.
And they're always green. You have green screen technology. You can't make blue leaves.
I know. It's just...
That's a tangent, but it always bugs me about Star Wars stuff, is that they just film stuff on Earth, and then they just make everything look like Earth.
It's so... And, it was just...
I mean, I think that's what Star Trek did back in the day, but yeah.
I know, but it's it kind of made me think... I even said, I think, out loud at some point, I'm like, why do we even have live-action Star Wars when we could just have animated Star Wars? And again, I know it started live-action, I get it, so it's not really a actually critique or anything. It's more just man, they're able to be so much more creative with the fact that it's a universe with all these different planets and stars and races and cultures. It's so cool. So I've really liked watching it so far. I obviously loved the first Visions series, so this is no surprise. I even watched, there's I didn't list it here, but there was on Disney Plus, they've put up this I forget what it's called, but it's a landscapes and planets of Star Wars. It's 18 minutes long, and it's almost like Planet Earth style, where they just do these big wide 4K shots of landscapes of popular and well-known Star Wars locations. But
cool.
Again, it's beautiful mountain, but it's just ice and snow everywhere. Beautiful desert, but it's a desert, so it's just sand everywhere. They go to that one planet where it's just salt, which again, I think that was actually a really good, kind of exceptional planet, where it's they have this salt planet where everything you touch turns red. I was like, wow, that's actually really cool and creative. Good job, sequels. But then what they do is one, overall the landscapes are still pretty boring. Two, they put in this stupid CGI ships flying by, or droids walking by. And honestly, because it's in 4K, the shots of the actual environments do look really, really nice. I have a 4K screen, but then you see these CGI freaking abominations come on screen. They just look ugly, and you're just I kind of would rather just not these be here. You have to remind people that this is Star Wars, but can we not? So anyway, that sure is one takeaway of Visions. I love how beautiful and unique and creative a lot of these different, again, not just environments and planets, but like also cultures and people and places and stories. The stories are super cool. Anyway, it's very, very cool. The other show I finished is Legend of Vox Machina. And obviously it's not like done. Like they're doing another season, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many seasons they're going to do because I don't know how long the original campaign was, but I kind of had forgotten that they announced that they are doing Mighty Nine as well, which is their second campaign. So that's cool. Anyway, Vox Machina is very good. It really did take like a couple episodes into season 2 though for me to be really like, oh, this is really, really good. Like I did like the arc and stuff and, you know, some of the arcs and things that happened in the first season, but I think for me to actually be like, oh, this is like a really good show was season 2. So yeah, it's really good. And now I'm watching just like so many other people, just watching so many like Critical Role like clips and stuff on YouTube. It was really fun to see like the comparisons of scenes.
460 hours, by the way.
Yeah, absurd.
Cool.
Absolutely not. No, we're not doing that. That's what I mean though. That's why I'm like, I'll watch the shows and I'll watch the animated shows specifically on Prime. And that's how I'll consume his content. And I can watch clips. Mm-hmm. I'll watch little animatics on YouTube as well. Like people just do like little animations of like tiny scenes. I think it's very fun. But I'm not gonna like sit down and like listen to any of their campaigns. Like that's too much for me. I don't have time.
I tried and it was so boring.
Yeah, people love it, which is like good for them. But like people also get really, really, I don't know. I don't need to rant on this, but like in watching a lot of these clips and like kind of like going down to the comments, there is a lot of I've heard that the fan base is very sort of falls into the parasocial territory a little bit, and I can kind of understand that now. I was just like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep myself distanced from this, but I understand, especially if you've been around them for a while, or if you're around listening since like kind of near the beginning. Maybe like I know a lot of people started listening like when their second campaign was going on, like that's like their most popular one. But it's like I understand why there's a lot of parasocial feelings, but it makes me uncomfortable all the same. The other thing too is in watching Vox Machina, there's a lot of like kind of like sort of flirting that happens between the party members, like quite a bit. And I just think, you know, obviously I have the context of like, oh, this was a campaign, a D&D campaign done by people. It threw me off a lot because I kind of had a little bit of dissonance of like, oh, this is a show and we like shipping. I like shipping. I'm a shipper, right? I like shipping. I like OTPs. I like sort of like shipping characters together, but also having the knowledge of, oh, these were people's characters. Yeah. So I kind of had this weird cognitive like dissonance of like, this is a show and like, obviously they consented to this. Like this was like totally planned and like they put in their creative thoughts to the show, and so this is like it's fine to enjoy that, it's fine to like portray that, but it makes me think about like the original show. Like I don't know, that's just like such a foreign concept to me as someone who's played D&D a lot, having not players, but like characters in the game like be interested in each other. Like there has been some games I've played where that's been like a dynamic of like but usually it's like a one-sided crush, and that's like kind of part of the whole like it's like a whole joke. So like for example, there was one campaign I was in with my husband, and I played this beautiful, awesome, powerful paladin woman, and she was amazing. And my husband played this like teen like druid rogue who like had this stupid crush on my character, but my character was 1, totally oblivious, 2, didn't care, 3, was never going to care kind of thing. But it was like a really, really fun dynamic that we just kind of got to implement, where it's like, you know, this teen guy just has this random crush on this like really pretty lady in the party, and like is always trying to like flirt and kind of like do stuff, but she's totally just like, she's paladin, right? She's like all business. And so that's what, you know, there's been situations like that, but I've never like, at least to the capacity that Vox Machina, and from what I can tell, Mighty Nine and the rest of their campaigns are, when it comes to shipping and dating, it's very interesting to me. It's not bad by any means. I could be wrong,
but I think a few of those cast members are actually together. I think
they are, yeah, like Laura Bailey and
But the characters that are dating each other never seem to be like
That is kind of weird.
The
right?
married couples.
Well, not always.
Oh,
I think they are. At least some of them. I think Laura Bailey and I think it's Travis Willingham are married, and I think their characters are like together in one of the campaigns. But either way, I know what you mean though. It's like it's usually weird, not that way. And then like Marisha is Matt Mercer's wife, and obviously he's the DM, so like there's a whole thing there too. But I don't know. It's like they're professionals and they're actors, and they all consent to this, so it's like they're the ones pushing it. But it's like, I guess for me, it's just a weird thing where it's like you could tell they're only pushing it, or one huge reason they're pushing it is because they have a fan base that loves shipping. And it's this thing where it's like, if they were just playing this game privately, would they be doing that? I don't think so. I don't know. Also, just realizing a lot of campaigns I play on, there's a lot of age diversity as well. Whereas, like, at least in this campaign, I can't tell the ages of anybody, but they all kind of seem like young adult kind of characters, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think, again, just trying to compare, like, oh, this is a D&D campaign I'm watching. I'm obviously just going to compare it to D&D campaigns I've been in, and so seeing those differences has been really interesting. But again, I've talked a lot. It's a really good show, though. Really, really entertaining.
There's definitely a dynamic. Like,
yeah.
I've had a lot of friends that have wanted to do, like, Dungeons & Dragons throughout the years. They wanted to record it.
Yeah.
And, like, not all of my friends are the most family-friendly, and so I've always kind of distanced myself from the idea of recording that with them just because we do this podcast and stuff. And
makes sense.
A lot of people would see one person's actions and then relate. It's a whole thing with Christian podcasts and things. But the other thing that I don't like, and because it got brought up again, to record the D&D sessions that we're going to be doing at my own house, that I'm DMing.
Yeah.
And I just don't like the idea of like it should be play, and so I think when you hit a record button, it becomes a performance.
Exactly.
And,
Yep.
I just don't like. It's a different, at least for me, like a totally different mindset. The way that I would interact in front of a camera, or just having fun and
exactly, yeah. And like,
I don't understand the want to do that.
No.
Obviously, if you're making money off of it and doing it professionally,
totally absolutely, different. By all means,
Critical Role,
but
I totally get that.
I agree.
I wouldn't want to do that every week, or every month that I'm playing a session.
It's a lot of pressure
for an audience.
It's a lot of pressure, and all of a sudden you're not really playing for yourself anymore. You're playing for some imaginary audience. And for me, as much as I enjoy watching Vox Machina, and as great as I imagine Critical Role probably is, I would never trade that time in to just playing Dungeons & Dragons myself. Playing Dungeons & Dragons myself or DMing Dungeons & Dragons myself is always going to be more fun, more enjoyable than watching a show about D&D, watching a movie about D&D, right?
Yeah.
Or listening to people play D&D. It was so funny. Because I did end up seeing Dungeons & Dragons the movie with one of my D&D parties that I run. And my husband even said, because he's in the group, he even said, hey, so we're all free for like 3 hours on a Saturday. Why don't we just play D&D? Why watch a movie about it when we can just play it? And I even thought, I'm like, that sounds more fun than watching this movie. And obviously we ended up watching the movie. But I think that's the worry and concern I have for those who only really know Critical Role and don't know anything else about Dungeons & Dragons. It's like, it is first and foremost a game, and it's ideally played with friends. Because for me, just to get a little personal here, it's been a really amazing excuse to continue to see friends from college who otherwise I would really not be able to hang out with consistently. And, we're getting close to the end of this like 3 or 4 year long campaign, and all of us are feeling pretty bittersweet about it because this has been the one thing keeping us, together for a couple hours every Wednesday night for the last couple of years. And, we use that opportunity to just sort of catch up as well and sort of talk about stuff. Like, we're not role-playing constantly. And again, no harm to, like, Critical Role. Like, they're amazing. They're professionals, and they're really good at role-playing, and, like, they're doing it for a reason, et cetera, et cetera. But at least for me and it's, like, it's fun. It's a fun time. It's not meant to be super serious. I feel like, as well, if I were to be performing in front of an audience, I'd feel way more pressure because all of a sudden people are going to be like judging me that aren't even my players. Like, if anyone's going to be judging how I'm running a game, like, I'd want to be my players. It doesn't matter if other people listening to it are enjoying it. What matters is if the players are enjoying it. So, just a rant, just a little spiel. Vox Machina is a very good show, but don't use Critical Role and don't use Vox Machina as your label as to what D&D is. It can be inspiration. 100% it can be. I think I've been inspired by it in ways of like, oh, maybe I can make characters like more like this, or maybe I can make my stories more like this. I think that's great. I think inspiration's great. I just fear for people who only listen to Critical Role and think like, this is exactly what D&D is, and this is the pinnacle of D&D, and then try to go into a D&D group, especially with people they don't know. Because again, it's way more fun with friends. Like, way more fun with friends because you get all these inside jokes and all these things going. You already know each other. You already have that separation between role playing and how you actually are because you already know each other, right? I just fear for those people, right? So, I think I talked enough about that.
That's well said. I think it's a good kind of warning to people. Yeah,
because I've even heard people. There's like horror stories, right? On like. You can even go to RPG Horror Stories subreddit, and you'll see every once in a while people be like, oh yeah, here's someone who like just wants to be Matt Mercer. And again, like if you're trying to get inspiration from Matt Mercer, that's amazing. He's a very good DM, but you kind of have to come up with your own style too. You can't just mimic him. And same with like playing, you know, if you have this expectation that like whoever your DM is going to be like having this amazing, perfect homebrew world that's like all like amazing, because again, like Matt Mercer's a very, very good world builder as well. Like you just can't compare it all, right? Like you gotta have your own experiences, make it your own. That's what makes D&D super fun, is because you kind of make it your own. So
I think Matt Mercer, if anything, has helped me kind of lean into the role playing more.
Yeah,
rules. I think like when I played at first, like Critical Role wasn't a huge deal, or at least I didn't know about it at the time. This is years ago.
Sure, yeah.
So there's so many resources now. It's kind of crazy. I do not envy my DM because there are so many more resources at my fingertips than he had.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
I don't know how he did it all because it's a lot. But for me, it was all about the combat, and I found the combat kind of boring. And like the role playing stuff, I was always trying to kind of like rush through because I thought that was like not the game.
I see. Yeah.
It's good to watch stuff. I think like, and a lot of people that I know that are playing, like my party, they know Critical Role pretty well. And I think that is kind of like in a healthy way, giving them kind of an expectation.
Oh, absolutely.
Of like acting a little bit more.
Totally. Yeah, I know some people in my party also are similar. Yeah, no, I think inspiration's super good. Again, like there's people in my party too who have been listening for years and years, right? Like they still continue to listen every week, and they have been listening since for years now. Like I remember during COVID times, like I would be walking around and they're walking around with their headphones listening to Critical Role. And it really does come through with the role playing, but I think even talking to them, they also agree that just playing D&D is going to be more fun than listening to it, definitely. Right? You got to kind of have that distinction, I guess.
And I mean, not to bring it like all the way back into like circular, but you know, you talked about like the relationships and stuff like that would be weird in a normal D&D session. The overly describing things as a DM could be a little wonky, and so there's definitely negatives to just like thinking that you're going to be Critical Role at home. It just doesn't make sense because it's way more narrative and produced.
Yes, it is.
Than play.
Totally is. Yep. Again, it's listening to Critical Role, totally good, totally cool. Just like also play D&D. Like, maybe also just
go play
do that.
D&D.
It's
moral of the story: go play Dungeons and Dragons.
Or another TTRPG. It doesn't have to be Dungeons and Dragons. There's plenty of others.
Yeah.
And you can try any of them. So, but Vox Machina is a very good show. All things considered.
Did we, LJ, do you see? No, you. Yeah.
What
have you been watching?
I just watched. I watched a few episodes of a. So I found out there was an anime back in the '90s made that was based on Virtua Fighter, the like old fighting game. And I saw that on Wario 64, and I bought the Blu-ray because I'm like, this is a weird piece of like history that like I didn't know existed.
Cool.
I watched a few episodes, and it's pretty good so far. Very classic anime. Very like the character eats a lot, and he's this young dude who's just like a really good fighter, kind of like very Goku-ish. Like in typical shonen kind of. It's good so far. It seems like. I've only watched a few episodes of it, but it was like on Blu-ray for like $35. I could have watched it free off of like Pluto TV or somewhere, but I was like, you know what? This is a weird piece of fighting game history that I'm just gonna like buy.
Yeah, heck
And
yeah.
so I think it's got like 30. It's got I think 30 something episodes. So I'm gonna watch more of it. But yeah, it's good. It's fun so far. So nothing
Sweet.
too crazy to share there, but just a weird piece of history.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we will get into the TV news then. We've got a couple different things here.
Yeah.
There's a trailer for Peacock's Twisted Metal,
Yes.
which LJ, I hate to rain on your parade. You are really excited about it.
Well, so far, I'll say so far, it doesn't look that bad, but we haven't seen much.
Yeah. See, I'm with the opposite boat. I'm like, it looks so bad, but we haven't seen it.
Yes. Yeah.
Anthony Mackie, I love him as an actor. I will always give something that he's in a chance because I think he does really well. He just always gets put in these like roles that aren't great. I don't know who his publicist is.
Yeah.
Altered Carbon, really really great show. I was really excited for him to play season 2, and season 2 was not a good season. But it was not Anthony Mackie's fault at all. He did amazing. So it's just it. And then there was that robot movie that he was in where he was a like robot killing machine thing, and I can't remember what it's called. It's on Netflix. It was like it was okay. He did great, but like the movie wasn't great. I don't know. He just gets some unfortunate roles. So I don't know his line where he's like,
Poor
"Start your
unfortunate
engines."
roles.
I think that's fun. Yeah, to me that line was so cheesy. It's going to be of a particular era, I think. It seems like they're going to lean into a particular era, which makes sense because Twisted Metal came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth looks awesome so far. Like, that looks like, okay, that looks like Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth is alright.
I want to know how dark or how silly they're going to go, because those games, obviously, that's got, like, dark themes. The characters are all pretty crazy and wacky. If you really wanted to go hard, you could go Twisted Metal Black style, and that would be like a hard R. From the vibes,
That's what I think it should be, honestly.
From the vibes I get from this trailer, it's going to be a bit more silly, and I think that's okay too.
I think it should be a dark Deadpool.
Yeah, but this is
Deadpool's
like
already
almost
pretty,
like
well.
Twisted Metal Black is like almost horror movie dark. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's always had the horror movie kind of themes a little bit, and like with some of the characters. But I think of like Mr. Grimm, who's like he was mostly a silly character in most of the games, but
It does have the writers from Deadpool. I thought it did.
in Twisted Metal Black, like Mr. Grimm is literally a guy from Vietnam who the only way he could escape out of a hole is if he ate his friend, and he wears the skull of his friend as a mask.
Oh
and he
my!
drives like a military motorcycle. Like, and that's not even the worst of it. There's like other crazy characters.
No, because their wishes are all terrible.
Yes, it's all like it's a messed up. Like it's a silly car combat video game. Like, if you give me like Mad Max Fury Road style, like like scenes and like stuff like that, like that's all anybody really wants.
Yeah.
I think the silliness I think it's gonna be more appealing. I think the darker stuff would be cool though too. I'm in between.
I want horror comedy. Like the only horror movie stuff that I do like is comedy. So like Freaky with Vince Vaughn, I loved, and then Happy Death Day, another horror thing. So I'm not usually into horror. And so like for me, that's what Twisted Metal should be.
Yes.
Like really horrific and terrible.
Yes.
But then like Peacemaker funny.
Yep, and I think that's what the original games always kind of did. Like Twisted Metal Black went hard left into like horror territory.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if they like literally Rob Zombie was a character in one of them, and he literally drove a Dragula, like like stuff like that. Yeah. There's a certain group of people that will totally get that reference.
We'll see how that goes.
A lot of the horror movies pop up on Peacock too. Like I think Megan just popped up on there and stuff like that.
I kind of wish HBO had it. I feel like HBO probably would have handled it a little bit better. But we don't.
I see.
I have hopes for this until I see more. Like Samoa Joe, the wrestler, is playing Sweet Tooth. I wonder what Will Arnett is gonna sound like. He's gonna sound like Will Arnett, but I'm curious to see what that performance is going to be like as Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, this is one of those shows that, like, I showed my stepdad. I'm like, hey, this is up your alley. Like, I'm going to get him to watch this because I know, like, yeah, I think it'll be fun at the very least.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sold yet, but they can still sell me.
Yeah,
another thing I'm not sold on is, I guess it hasn't sold to anyone yet, but that's the Vampire Survivors TV show that is being worked on by, what are they called? Story Kitchen. And Story Kitchen is a production team, some big names in it. I'm trying to find who they are. Drama creator Derek Kolstad. Dimitri M. Johnson, who's the producer of Sonic the Hedgehog, like the movies.
Yo.
And then Mike Goldberg.
Okay.
So some big names attached to it. And they are basically they're partnering with the creators of Vampire Survivors and trying to get TV networks to buy their, I think, animated show. Yeah, animated TV show.
I mean,
like, there's all the lore is jokes.
And that's why, like, Vampire Survivors in itself is a Castlevania, like, parody, right? Like, a lot of those sprites are, like, not saying that they are straight from Castlevania, but they look pretty darn close. Or else they'd probably be sued if they were exactly, like, close.
Yeah.
But that's what that is, like, to me. It's like, I picture all those little sprites as, like, you know, Castlevania stuff, like, from the old days. So I think that's what this show needs to be. Yeah, I think that's
just a funny Castlevania.
Like a totally goofy, like, when you think horror, when you say, like,
fun.
You mentioned, like, horror comedy with Twisted Metal, I think this needs to be horror comedy, but with, like, they literally need to play off of, like, how dark, like, the Castlevania show is or something.
How would you feel if it was the same animation style?
I think it would be. They need to make it more 80s or something, or more
80s. Okay,
more retro. I think. But again,
I don't know if I love the game so much. I just don't know if I care about this show.
Well, yeah, I was saying if they're gonna do. I mean, obviously, it sounds like they're getting one. They're gonna attempt to make one. I think it needs to be a parody. I think it needs to be a comedy. Like, I think it needs to be the most dumbest thing ever, and that's the way it's gonna succeed.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited for a trailer. I want to know more.
Yes.
I'm intrigued. There are so many shows out. I don't know if I can commit to something like this, but
well, I mean, it sounds like we're gonna get some time to catch up on shows. I think so. We'll see.
Yes. Hey, good segue. Our last piece of news is this writer strike that's happening, and LJ, you're kind of knowledgeable on it. I don't want to get too in the weeds about the strike. There's just better sources, I think, that are kind of explain what the writer strike is and what's happening there.
Yeah.
The news that I want to report on is kind of the effects of it. Daredevil, Born Again, is going to be delayed. Stranger Things is delayed. There's a bunch of other stuff that will be delayed as well.
Blade just went through a delay, and they're going to delay it again.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So super unfortunate for the nerds. Hopefully, they decide to pay their creators, their writers, soon. The last time this happened, I was a kid, and Heroes was a show that came out, and
the first season was so good.
Heroes. After season 1, it got real bad.
My dad and I watched that whole first season, every time it came on, like every episode.
Cable television really hasn't been the same since. Like,
you're kind of right.
I can't think of anything. I guess Lost came in after that, and a lot of people liked Lost. But like the writing of, like cheap cable network shows, really fell off after that writer's strike.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you get these higher budgeted things now. So I don't know. This is all about streaming services specifically.
Yes.
And their writers being treated like freelancers.
Yeah, so that's the way I understand it. I saw somebody explain this on TikTok who seems very knowledgeable in this field. The way they explained it is it's a streaming service thing. Basically, the writers are not getting paid as much because their streaming services that they're writing the shows for, like you said, they're getting paid more like freelancers, it sounds like. And then also apparently AI is like a big part of this too, because I don't know if there was a demand. I don't know exactly the situation, but it sounds like there was a demand made where somebody said, okay, we also don't want you to go and try and use things like ChatGPT to help write the stuff that you're hiring us to make. And it sounds like a studio, whatever studio it was, studios, sounds like they didn't say yes or no. Like, it sounds like it was a non-answer. So that's where this strike is coming from. So I'm like, this royally sucks. For the writers, like, just for people who, are working hard on this stuff, and obviously the studios are the ones that are fitting the bill to make the magic happen. So it's like, what are you going to do when you don't have people to write the shows that you want to get made?
Yeah.
Like I said, that's kind of the way I understand it.
Yeah. It's upsetting. It's frustrating. I hope that it doesn't impact the industry in a negative way. Hopefully everything gets kind of ironed out.
And it's like
they're supposed to be paid.
Movie theaters and such like that, and like movies specifically, are already hanging in the balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least that experience, and then TV is like even worse. Like it's even worse because it's like, well, like we have such a constant amount of content being boom, 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 just pumped into these services. Mm-hmm. It's like, like it's kind of crazy.
But we'll end the podcast there, kind of on a sad note, but hopefully things will kind of change soon.
Yeah.
Another thing that I'm geeking out about a little bit, I'm just going to tease it, because I've been working on it last couple of days. The Twitch overlays and things on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace, are going to go through a bit of a change. Everyone decided that... So we have, for those who don't know, if you go, there's our camera, and then there's the gameplay in this like small box, and then there's a chat thing, and so we're getting rid of the chat piece, and then putting the camera in the gameplay, so you get a little bit more of the gameplay. Mm-hmm. Should be a little bit easier to watch the actual games that we're streaming. Cool. And so yeah, I've been working on that. Kind of keep an eye out for that. Next couple of weeks, we should probably have that start rolling out. Yeah, I'm excited about it. That's really what I've been geeking out about all week. Is Twitch overlay stuff, because it's kind of a game to me. I like to play with the graphics and things. Shelley, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
And LJ?
You can find me everywhere on social media under LJ the Paladin.
And you can find me at twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace on Wednesdays. And playing Chain Echoes, probably until it's over, because it's fun.
Nice.
And then on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.